Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasib. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. We begin talking politics where stakeholders of the All Progressive Congress APC in the Southeast have formally endorsed President Bola Tinubu for a second term ahead of the 2027 general elections, pledging massive electoral support. Speaking at a regional stakeholders meeting in Enugu, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma said the Southeast must end political isolation and strengthen its relevance at the center. He cited the growing presence of the All Progressive Congress in the region and urged voters to support Tinubu to consolidate ongoing economic and security reforms. In the meantime, the former national chairman of the All Progressive Congress APC and former governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has returned to the country after spending several weeks on vacation in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Following his return, the former APC national chairman is expected to commence a series of consultations and stakeholders meeting focusing on recent political development in Kano State. A statement issued by his chief of staff, Muhammad Garba, stated that the engagements are aimed at reviewing the evolving political landscape with consulting widely with party leaders and critical stakeholders. Dr. Ganduje is also expected to go for the ongoing APC nationwide electronic membership registration, e-registration exercise, an initiative which he pioneered during his tenure as national chairman. The initiative was designed to modernize the party's membership database, enhance internal planning, and ensure that APC membership records are comprehensive, credible, and easily accessible. The statement added that the former governor remains committed to strengthening party structures and promoting inclusive dialogue in support of democratic consolidation within the APC, particularly in Kano State. The federal government has directed federal hospitals nationwide to enforce a no-work, no-pay policy on joint health sector unions, JOHESO members participating in the ongoing strike, while ensuring emergency services remain operational. The directive, issued by the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and signed by the Director of Hospital Services, Dr. Disu Adejoke, takes effect from January 2026 and applies to all categories of staff involved in industrial action. Hospital management were also instructed to protect staff willing to work, secure facilities, and submit regular reports on service delivery. Now to Rivers State, where Governor Siminalayi Fubara has appealed for calm among residents in the State House of Assembly as the State House of Assembly moves forward with impeachment proceedings against him and his deputy. Speaking during a Christmas church service to mark the 2026 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the governor said his silence amidst political distractions was deliberate, adding that he remains confident everything will work out. The impeachment move, which centers on allegations of gross misconduct and unauthorized spending, marks the second attempt by lawmakers to remove Fubara since his emergence as governor in 2023, following political fallout with his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. Meanwhile, the Rivers State House of Assembly has raised concerns over alleged moves by unnamed individuals to obtain court orders aimed at stopping the ongoing impeachment process against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy. The lawmakers say attempts to approach court outside Port Harcourt Judicial Division amount to an abuse of the legal process and a threat to constitutional order. The Assembly insists it will continue with the impeachment proceeding in line with the Constitution, urging all parties to respect the rule of law. And now to security matters, where the Nigerian Army says sustained military operations have significantly weakened bandit and terrorist activities in Zamfara State, restoring confidence to residents and road users across the state. The commander of 1 Brigade, Nigerian Army, Gusau, Brigadier General Mustafa Jimo, disclosed this during the 2025 West Africa social activities held at the brigade headquarters in Gusau. Our correspondent has the details. The 2025 West Africa Social Activities provided a platform for strengthening civil-military relations, bringing together soldiers, their families, and members of the host community in an atmosphere of unity and peace. The event featured vibrant cultural displays by various ethnic groups, including Igbo, Hausa Fulani, Yoruba, and Tiv, celebrating Nigeria's diversity and shared heritage. The commander of one brigade, Brigadier General Mustafa Jimo, described the gathering as an opportunity to foster harmony between the military and civilians, while also boosting troop morale. Addressing journalists, the brigade commander reaffirmed that security operations have yielded tangible results, noting that incidents of banditry and terrorism have dropped significantly. He added that major highways and communities are now safer, allowing residents and commuters to move freely without fear.
The historical event we are gathered to witness this afternoon is one of the most cherished and enduring traditions in the Nigerian Army. The West African social activities date back to the era of the West African Frontier Force, when the British colonial commanders introduced a social forum into African military life. The initiative allows soldiers to showcase their rich cultural heritage, customs, and way of life.
Representing the Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal, the Commissioner for Works Lawal Barau commended officers and men of one brigade under Operation Fencing Yamma for their resilience, courage, and sustained efforts in combating insecurity across the state. He assured the military of the continued support and appreciation of the state government and the people of Zamfara.
As this event draws to a close, His Excellency reiterates the commitment of the Zamfara State government to continue collaboration and support with the Nigerian Army and other security agencies within available resources in the collective pursuit of lasting peace and development in the state.
The event also featured prize presentations to outstanding personnel and a spirited tug-of-war competition involving the Nigerian Army, Air Force, Navy, Department of State Services, and the Federal Road Safety Corps. The 2025 states where medical doctors across the state have commenced a strike action following the abduction of their colleague, Dr. Ibrahim Babatunde, citing growing insecurity and fear for their lives, despite assurances from security agencies that efforts are underway to secure his release. The industrial action has forced several hospitals across the state to operate at minimum capacity, leaving patients and their families distressed as access to essential and emergency medical care becomes increasingly limited. Doctors' leaders say the strike reflects a broader pattern of attacks on health workers nationwide and have urged authorities to urgently improve security to prevent further disruptions on healthcare delivery. The Minister of Works and Housing, Dave Umahi, has issued a firm warning to contractors handling federal road projects, stressing that delays and poor supervision will no longer be tolerated. The minister gave the warning during an inspection visit to the ongoing expansion of the Maraba-Kefi Expressway, a 43 kilometers project being handled by the China Harbour Engineering Company. Our correspondent Kabir Hassan reports.
The Minister, David Umahi, led officials of the Ministry of Works on an on-the-spot assessment of the Maraba-Kefi Road corridor, where he expressed dissatisfaction with the pace of the work and compliance with the earlier directive. The Minister ordered the contractors to complete and hand over the project on or before February 2026, directing the submission of a detailed work timetable and a written commitment to meet the deadline.
Giving you end of February to hand over this job.
During the inspection, Senator Umahi also directed the immediate removal of hard module caps along the road, the concreting of the median, and the installation of solar power streetlights across the entire stretch. He blamed lapses on poor supervision by some of the ministry officials, warning that negligence will attract sanctions.
I'm directing the Farm Secretary to remove the controller, effective from today, and pushed him to my office to go and learn how to obey instructions. And the Farm Secretary will post another controller immediately, who will take over from you and who will learn to obey instructions. And to ensure Director Information, note this, 2026 an action year, and nobody will be spared. Discipline will be our watchword. Diligence is our watchword. Doing the work we are paid to do is our watchword, and nobody will be spared.
As part of the disciplinary measures, the minister ordered the immediate removal of a controller of works accused of issuing certificate for uncompleted jobs, declaring 2026 an action year of discipline. As part of the disciplinary measures, the minister ordered the immediate removal of a controller of works accused of issuing certificate for uncompleted jobs, declaring 2026 an action year full discipline, diligence, and accountability. The inspection included stepovers at strategic locations along the corridor, including the Kefi flyover, as the minister reiterated the federal government resolve to ensure quality road infrastructure for Nigerians. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News. The minister, David.
Picture of Nigeria's economic future is coming into focus as a new report by PricewaterhouseCoopers warns that rising inflation and weak income growth could push millions into poverty by 2026. For many residents of Abuja, the impact of this economic pressure is already being felt on a daily basis in the struggle to afford food, transportation, and basic necessities. Again, Kabir Hassan reports.
A recent report by the PricewaterhouseCoopers projected that about 141 million Nigerians, nearly 62% of the population, will be living in poverty by 2026. The report raises concern that despite economic reforms and signs of macroeconomic stability, rising cost of living and weak income growth continue to place severe pressure on household welfare. In the streets of Abuja, the nation's capital, these challenges are already affecting marketers, traders, transport workers, and other informal sectors.
It has affected our daily earnings so much in the sense that, well, you look at the income is not commensurate to what is there in the market again. So what you receive and what you used to make do with, you cannot be able to achieve that now again.
When you look at the current situation of the nation, it's clear that many people are suffering, while the prices of some items have dropped significantly. The major challenge remains the lack of income. People simply do not have money and has made life very difficult for many households. Comparing the situation now to what it was before, the difference is clear and cannot be ignored. The level of hardship has increased, and it is contributing to the growing rate of poverty across the country.
Responses from residents in Abuja highlight a common concern. Incomes are not keeping pace with the rising cost of living. Many say customers now buy less. Transport costs have reduced daily earnings, and survival has become more difficult. This views mirrors PwC's warning that without real income growth and targeted intervention, poverty levels may continue to rise. As Nigeria closes towards 2026, the PwC's report serves as a stark reminder that economic reforms must translate into tangible improvement in the lives of ordinary citizens. Without inclusive policies that reduce living costs and boost household incomes, the fight against poverty may remain an uphill task. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
Imo State, where the state government has launched a new entrepreneurship program at the Imo Digital City in Owerri as part of efforts to strengthen its digital economy and support young innovators. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
Imo State has taken another step in its push towards a technology-driven economy with the launch of the Founder Dojo Boot Camp at the Imo Digital City in Owerri. The program brings together young innovators and aspiring entrepreneurs for practical trainings focused on turning ideas into viable businesses. Governor Hope Uzodinma, declaring the program open, says the state is shifting attention from infrastructure development to building enterprise that can create jobs and grow the economy.
Imo State is rapidly emerging as Nigeria's hub for digital talent. Your talent can now have a place to grow. As I always maintain, skills alone are not enough. Knowledge must be transformed into enterprise. Our goal is here to help you take that idea in your head and turn it into a real business.
The managing director of Imo Digital City Limited, Stella Ezenduka, says the facility was created to provide a supportive environment for young founders to develop their ideas into businesses.
This city is here to provide you the environment, the tools, and the partnership needed for your success. Your Excellency, sir, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma CON, on behalf of the management and staff of Imo Digital City, I sincerely thank you and the Imo State government for your unflinching support and visionary leadership.
The Chief Executive Officer of USMAC, Chris Boris, says the program is designed to prepare participants for the digital economy and global competition.
The future is here in Imo. We together are creating that future to bring prosperity here, to Nigeria, to Africa, and to the world. Our mission, as part of the Founder Dojo program, is said very cleanly here. We are here to help create the next generation of great global founders here in Imo.
With the aim of turning Owerri into a true startup hub, the success of this boot camp will ultimately be measured by the businesses they launch from here and the jobs they create. From Imo Digital City in Owerri, I'm Marachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Move away from Imo and tell you that at least 4 people have been killed after bandits attacked the Mala village in Borgo local government area of Niger State. The attackers reportedly stormed the community in the early hours of Saturday, rustling cattle, killing residents, and setting shops on fire before fleeing the area. Security agencies say a clearance operation is ongoing as efforts intensify to prevent further attacks and restore calm. The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, has warned Nigerians who support terrorist and criminal groups that they will face the consequence of their action. Speaking at the Armed Forces Remembrance Golf Tournament in Abuja, Musa stressed that national security requires collective responsibility and citizen cooperation. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Olufemi Oloyede, also urged Nigerians to remain vigilant and support security agencies. You're watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. When News Cycle returns, Super Eagles captain to miss Nigeria-Morocco semi-finals clash. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories. On the other side of this break, please stay with us. You're welcome back, and now to business news, where equities market analysts say Nigeria's stock market is expected to maintain a positive outlook in 2026, supported by improved liquidity conditions and the resilience of key sectors including banking and ICT. They noted that macroeconomic reforms and the anticipated listing of Dangote's petrochemical assets could further strengthen sentiment on the Nigerian exchange market. The market opened 2026 strongly, with capitalization crossing 100 trillion naira and the all-share index rising nearly 3% within the first 3 trading days. Still talking business, the Central Bank of Nigeria is expected to realize about 5.4 billion naira as service charge from the 2026 Hajj, countering claims that government does not benefit financially from the Hajj industry. An analysis of the 2026 Hajj fare package shows that each Nigerian pilgrim is charged 2% of the approved fare as service fee payable to the CBN, with the Hajj fare fixed at about 7.6 million naira. Each pilgrim is paying roughly 136,417 naira as service charge. This is based on an estimated 40,000 state pilgrims expected to participate in the 2026 Hajj. And now on the foreign scene, streets across Uganda's capital, Kampala, have been flooded with campaign materials as the country prepares for its general elections in the coming days. President Yoweri Museveni, who has ruled Uganda since 1986, is seeking re-election amid criticism over human rights abuses, suppression of opposition voices, and constitutional changes that removed term and age limits. The election will see Museveni face opposition candidate Bobi Wine, with rights groups warning of rising arrest and political repression ahead of the polls. Still on the international scene, leader of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, have held talks with Guinea-Bissau's military junta on the release of detainees and a timeline for a return to constitutional rule following November's coup. Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio and Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye also met detained and exiled opposition figures as discussion focused on political releases and the duration of the transition. The junta has resisted pressure for a swift handover, arguing that a longer security period is needed, while also expressing concern over a potential ECOWAS standby force. Now, away from Africa, fresh protests have broken out across Iran despite a nationwide internet shutdown, as rights groups warn that security forces are using lethal force to crush demonstrations that began over economic hardship and have now escalated into a direct challenge to the theocratic government of the country. Our correspondent has the details.
Demonstrators returned to the streets of Tehran, Mashhad, and other major cities overnight, defying a heavy security presence and expanding communications blackout, now lasting more than 60 hours. Human rights organizations say the clampdown has intensified, with reports of rising death, mass arrest, and hospitals struggling to cope, even as authorities insist they are responding to vandalism and unrest. Amid the escalating crackdown, Reza Pahlavi, the exiled son of Iran's ousted Shah, urged Iranians to remain in the street and continue the protests, describing the moment as decisive for the country's future. With tensions rising and the government warning against foreign interference following comments by United States President Donald Trump, analysts say Iran is facing one of the most serious internal challenges to clerical rule in decades. Mukhtar Qasim.
And now talking sports, Nigeria will be without captain Wilfred Ndidi for their Africa Cup of Nations semi-final clash against host Morocco after he was suspended for accumulating 2 yellow cards. The midfielder picked up his second booking of the tournament during Nigeria's quarter-final victory over Algeria, triggering an automatic 1-match ban. Ndidi is expected to return for either the final or third-place playoff, depending on the outcome of the semi-final tie. Still talking sports, 22 teams have secured qualifications for the 4th round of the FA Cup following Saturday's 3rd round fixtures. Chelsea sealed their place with a convincing 5-1 victory over Charlton Athletic, while Manchester City recorded a dominant 10-1 win against Exeter City. Attention now turns to today's fixtures, with several top-flight clubs still battling for progression. That's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms, now showing on your screen using our Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Qasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.